Manchester United are changing. There is a new board, a new structure, and genuinely, I think rival fans should be extremely concerned about how they are moving this transfer window. We're going to break down the latest reports. Colombian wonderkid, Matthijs de Ligt, Zubimendi, Ugarte, and Jadon Sancho. We've got so much to get into. If you're new to the channel, please do go down, hit that subscribe button. We had 1,000 subscribers of last video, and 98% of people who watched it weren't subscribed. So what are you waiting for? Genuinely, the support is absolutely, it's beyond obscene now. Like the love you guys are showing, the support is genuinely unreal. And as well, the like game is incredibly strong. If we could hit 1,000 likes, that'd be fantastic. Now, Manchester United, Dan Ashworth has come out. He's the new director. And United in the last 3 or 4 years have been very, before Ineos come in, Woodward coming out, making some strange signings, overpaying for, Pogba, Lukaku, Anthony, Harry Maguire. And now Man United are in a position where they're not prepared to overpay for players. And I think their business is genius, what they're doing. I genuinely think Manchester United could be back in 1 or 2 windows' time. Arsenal were in a very strong position, and then they signed Declan Rice, and then they got to where they are. I don't think Man United at present need as many signings as Arsenal did to get back to challenging. I think they've got a good foundation. They've got a very good backline. They've got Bruno Fernandes in there. I think they need an out-and-out DM, and I think they need one more wide player to give them goals. But Dan Ashworth has spoken and said, Manchester United director Dan Ashworth, this remains one of the biggest football clubs in the world. The Real Madrid of England, I've called them. The focus on getting back amongst the best, together with Omar, Barada, and the new leadership team, we will not rest until we achieve it. Strong words coming out from the hierarchy. And this is exactly what you want if you're a Man United fan. If you're a rival fan like me, this is not what you want to hear. Because I'm calling them a sleeping giant. Once this sleeping giant is fully awake, because it will fully wake up, it's curtains for practically everyone other than Manchester City. They've got a bigger following than everyone. That following is on the same page, singing from the same hymn sheet as the chairman, the director of football, and the manager. Even at their worst, they won an FA Cup last season. So that should be, people should be sitting, hang on, what is going on here right now? Everton are preparing a new contract for Jarrad Branthwaite. Manchester United are not prepared and have no intention to pay 75 or 80 million pounds. Now, if this was 3 years ago, Man United right now would pay the 80 million pounds without even batting an eyelid for Branthwaite. And this is what I'm saying. They're changing. They're changing their thought process in the transfer market. Now, they're linked with, I believe they're going to get Ugarte wrapped up in a matter of days. I think they are going to get Ugarte wrapped up, probably towards the end of the week. They're also looking at Zubimendi in case that plan doesn't come to fruition. Now, PSG have made an offer for Jadon Sancho, and Jadon Sancho is very excited about the project of PSG. It's coming out from a very credible source. Now, you think Manchester United, this huge rebuild, in my opinion, is fully underway. Mason Greenwood's been sold. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, whether you think he's dead wood or not, he's being sold. And West Ham are incredibly interested, although they are looking at Kyle Walker-Peters as well, who's a cheaper option. So that's Mason Greenwood. Martial's gone. Jadon Sancho's been heavily linked to the move to PSG. Scott McTominay, whether Ten Hag wants to send him or not, is attracting interest from clubs like West Ham, Wolves, Tottenham, and Newcastle. Man United, a few more signings. I'm not saying they're going to challenge for a Premier League title. I'm not saying they're going to challenge for a Premier League title by any stretch of the imagination. But if you look at the business they're doing right now, and you look at what other clubs who are spending money in, like Chelsea, for instance, are doing right now, Chelsea is signing a lot of youngsters, and their plan is to be really good in the next 4 or 5 years. And I understand their plan. I don't necessarily agree with it. Man United are signing players of both experience, quality, and young. Leny Yoro, fantastic signing. Absolutely fantastic signing. Matthias de Ligt, according to the Standard, a transfer bid has been rejected from Bayern Munich. And the Bayern Munich hierarchy are now coming out and saying that the hierarchy are basically coming out and saying that he is not in the plans of Bayern Munich going forward. Now, the Standard have put Manchester United bid for Matthias de Ligt has rejected. Manchester United have seen a £30 million bid for Matthias de Ligt knocked back. Bayern Munich want 42 million plus add-ons, according to Bild, which is an incredibly reliable German source. But talks will continue as the Germans must sell before they can buy this transfer window. Now, Bayern Munich are a club that's had a very good transfer window. The likes of Desiree Doué, the likes of, or he's on the verge of signing for them, the likes of Michael Elise, João Paulinho. But if they're in a position where they've got to sell before they can buy, you know, how good of a situation is that for Man United, knowing that one of their centre-backs needs to be sold before Bayern Munich can do any more transfer business? So it puts the ball in Bayern Munich's court. Now, we spoke about Amad Diallo, and I want to come back to him because Erik ten Hag has been very vocal on regarding him. But Benfica have offered a João Neves update. Now, this is the sort of signing that Man United fans should be going, right, hang on, what is going on right now? Man United, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Arsenal may have not spent as big as they as they pursue a deal for Benfica star João Neves this summer. I never said that João Neves would leave for his release clause, and therefore those claims are false. Benfica president Rui Costa, what a player he was. It then says there's a proposal on the table which is being evaluated and discussed, but at the moment, João Neves remains a Benfica player. So Benfica are expecting offers from Manchester City, Arsenal, and Manchester United. This is the sort of signing that genuinely takes this sort of Man United team right now right up there. You know, absolute top player. Another bit of Manchester United news is regarding Antony. Now, this is an interesting subject, and it divides a lot of opinions. Now, rival fans absolutely slag him off at a stupid rate. Antony is not interested in a Man United exit. Now, if I'm being critical, I think Manchester United need better. They need better. And this is what fills me with. You've got Amad Diallo. You've got Amad Diallo, who is 22 years of age, has had loan spells at the likes of, you know, Sunderland, and I believe he had a loan spell, was it Atalanta? Now, he's predominantly on that right-wing position. You've got the depth of Garnacho, Antony, and the likes of Diallo. Apologies if I butchered the name. I don't think a year ago he was physically ready or mentally ready for the Premier League. Erik ten Hag has been very vocal about him, saying that right now he is more than capable of delivering. And this is a player who's delivered in the biggest moments for Manchester United, scoring in the quarterfinals at the very, very end against Liverpool in the FA Cup, in a trophy which they went on to win. I look at Antony. I'll be honest, I don't expect Antony right now to go on and leave Manchester United on a permanent fee. He's on £70,000 a week. His contract expires June 30th, 2027. Fabrizio Romano thinks at the moment the most likely outcome for Antony is a loan option. Now, they signed him for, what was it, 90 million euros from Ajax back in, 2022? I think Amad Diallo is a better player. I think he's technically better. He does only have 1 year left on his contract. And I personally believe if he doesn't get out-and-out first-team football, he may want to leave Manchester United. Now, whether that's legit or not, we'll have to wait and see. Now, we spoke about this in yesterday's video. Chido Obi Martin is attracting interest from Manchester United after his schoolboy terms at Arsenal expired, writes Simon Collins. The 16-year-old striker who finished last season for Arsenal under 18s with 29 goals in his last 11 appearances. He's also on the radar of German giants Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund. Discussions with Manchester United are understood to still be at an early stage, and it remains to see where Obi Martin chooses to play next season. Now, according to Fabrizio Romano, the player has been at Manchester United's training ground, been shown around, and genuinely right now, I think he could be a fantastic signing for Manchester United later on. You know, one thing that Man United have got, which a lot of clubs don't have, is they have a fantastic pathway from the academy to the first team. Fantastic pathway from the academy to the first team. And a lot of clubs, they don't have this. They don't. You know, in the last 10 years, the best academy players to come out of Arsenal have been the likes of, you know, Smith Rowe and Saka. In that time, Man United have had Marcus Rashford. They've had, if you think back to the last 15 years, Pogba, Lingard, McTominay. They've had another one as well, Alejandro Garnacho, you know, and now Kobe Mainu. So that academy is churning out talent. And I think if they bring in Chido Obi Martin, whose goal record speaks for itself, he could be a very good addition to Man United's youth setup. Now, one last thing we are going to finish on is Manchester United are interested in Martin Zubimendi, who is according to the Standard, they are prepared to hijack the deal from Arsenal. Now, Arsenal are looking at Mikel Merino and Martin Zubimendi. Both are very, very good players. I think Zubimendi is a different sort of player to Ugarte. I think Zubimendi is better on the ball. I think Ugarte is probably better off of it. Ugarte is more of an out-and-out DM. I believe Zubimendi probably could play the 8 role. Man United plot Martin Zubimendi hijack. Arsenal have been monitoring Martin Zubimendi for some time, but Manchester United are ready to pounce on the Euro 2024 winger. Men named Zubimendi on the 4-player shortlist to improve Erik ten Hag's midfield. Joining him is a free agent, Adrien Rabiot, who left Juventus, Sofiane Amrabat, Manuel Ugarte. Now, Sofiane Amrabat, his loan spell has come to an end. Manchester United are still interested, but at this moment in time, don't want to pay the 20 million euros. He does have 1 year left on his contract. Adrien Rabiot, I'm not really a fan of his, to be honest. Tottenham are being linked to him. He is a free agent, but he's going to want stupidly high signing on fee and wages. So I don't think that's realistic. So I think it comes down to Zubimendi and Ugarte. Now, Zubimendi, I've been a big fan of his for quite a number of months now, probably coming up to a year. Tottenham have been linked to him for a while. He's a player that, you know, he's 25 years of age. He's an out-and-out DM. I believe he could probably play as an 8, though. Has 3 years left on his contract. Has been at Sociedad for a couple of years now. I think like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 years. He won the Copa del Rey last year. He's won a Euros. I think he's even won a Nations League as well with Spain. So we'll have to wait and see in terms of what happens with Real Sociedad. When I look at Ugarte, I think he's probably a better fit because Man United have got Mason Mount, who can play the 8 role, Scott McTominay, and of course, Kobe, who you'd imagine will be starting week in, week out. In the DM department is where I think they need a bit of work. And it's not just Manchester United. I think Liverpool need an out-and-out DM, as well as Arsenal, as well as Spurs. There's a number of football clubs out there right now that are just lacking someone to sit in front, be the anchor role, and just mop up where required. You know, it's going to be an interesting few months for Manchester United. But if they bring in Ugarte, Amad Diallo gets game time week in, week out. Matthias de Ligt comes in. So that'd be Lenny Yoro, Joshua Zirkzee, Ugarte, and Matthias de Ligt. They're also linked with a Colombian, I believe he's a winger. Now, I'll be honest, I don't know too much about him. Rudy Galletti put out last night, Manchester United recently have approached Richard Rios and are now preparing a 17 million euro offer, 17 million pound offer for Pau Mares. AC Milan are also interested in the Colombian midfielder among the names of the list. At the moment, the club, the Brazilian club, is orientated to not let him go this summer. Now, his background apparently is in futsal. I don't know too much about him. What I do know is, though, he is wanted by quite a few clubs in the Brazil. If Man United can get this player over the line, he is 24 years of age, central midfielder. Looks like he's got a lot of technical ability. Looks like he's someone that can break the lines. Um, his record in terms of Brazil, I mean, they've got a lot of competitions out there. His contract expires in 2026. He can play the DM, but his best position apparently is that central midfield role. Contract expires 2026. In terms of his stats, if anyone is interested, um, he's played 82 games for Palmeiras, 5 goals and 2 assists. He's played a number of different competitions in Brazil, but he is apparently another player of interest. Now, we are going to wrap up. There'll be another transfer video out about another team tomorrow. Make sure you check that out. Big up to every single person who subscribed, liked, showed some support. It genuinely means the world to me. I hope each and every single one of you have a great day, and I'm out of here. See you all soon.